Call the regular meeting of the 9th School Board to order. Stacy, do you acknowledge public notice?
Yes.
Everybody please stand. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Jackson?
Yes.
Austin?
Yep.
Flanagan? Bryson? Christ? Fink?
Here.
Grant's here. Hermanson?
Here.
King?
Yes.
Vickers? Stocker? Super Bueller?
Yes. Item 3 is public comment. Does anybody have anything for public comment? Okay. Item 4 is adoption of the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Second by Staffer, motion by Staffer, second by Fink to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 5 is approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting on December 17th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Staffer, second by Zumbiller to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 6, Treasurer's Report is available on Board Book. If you have any questions, please let Kayla know. Item 7 is safety drill reports by the principal. Mitch?
Yep, just giving an overview for the district. Obviously, we do our fire drill monthly, and then we had a safety drill, or Alice drill, back on 10/30. The active threat was over in DHS. We'll do an active threat drill in the spring here. They'll be over in DEMS. We always continue to get feedback on that, and we continue to evaluate our practices, protocols, and make sure our equipment is working throughout the building, which we continue to do so. So things went well. We continue to plan on those going well. Tornado drill will be in the spring as well.
Is that Alice, or is that where they test
You have the wave system.
yeah, how is that working?
We've had some glitches with it for a little bit. The blue lights were not working, but I think we got those up and running in
My
the
wife
summer.
said the one in Argyle doesn't work at all.
And then the voice did not go off this last time, but we continue to test it on those off days. But yes, it's had its glitches by all means, so it's on the radar.
Is there anything we need to do with that, Mitch, or is it just a report?
Just a report.
Okay, thank you. Item 8, discussion action regarding donations. Kayla?
Yeah, we have several donations, anonymous, $100 to Rosie Bags, $173.25 to Rosie Bags from Grace Lutheran Church, $5,000 to the negative lunch balances from Cynthia Miller, $1,000 to the student science account from the Camacho Family Charitable Fund, and $500 to the needy student fund from an anonymous donor.
Who's thinking that?
Hey.
We know.
It's
That
not
was a
hard
big
to
thing.
vote.
That's a big sum of money.
Yeah.
I don't know whether, I don't know.
We just sent her more than just like, hey, thanks. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a thank you.
That's what
Yeah.
came
Huh?
to my mind. Is that who it is?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's the name that came to my
Yeah,
mind.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I agree with you. Like, if they're okay with it, I don't think it's a bad deal to put it on like Facebook either. I don't know where you got the line, but that is a pretty good size.
Yeah, it is.
That's
Deserves a little more than just our resignation.
Yeah.
Let's,
So I need a motion to approve those donations with our thanks, with the additional thanks to Ms. Miller.
I move.
Second.
Motion by Staffer, second by Zumbiller to approve those donations with our thanks. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 9, discussion action regarding the 26-27 calendar approval. In our haste of last year, we usually approve 2 years calendars in a row. We held off on approving this year's calendar because we're looking at a spring break possibility. Well, that kind of did materialize, but in our haste, we forgot to approve this coming next year's calendar. So what Cal just passed out is next year's calendar. Pretty much standard. You got anything you want to highlight on there, Cal?
No, this was created by the teachers after the surveys. You know, we did all kinds of surveys and discussions with the teachers about what they wanted to see for spring break. They didn't seem like there was a lot of interest. This is the same calendar as this year, just everything moved forward as much as possible, tweaked a little bit.
So we start the first?
Yeah.
Looks pretty straightforward to me. We need a motion on that?
Yeah, I just need a motion to approve the
Motion
26,
approved.
27 calendar.
Second.
Motion by Stafford,
Yep.
Yep.
second by Frank to approve the 26, 27 school calendar. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Do we publish this, when do we publish this for the public to look at?
Tomorrow.
Oh, is it right? Okay. Just curious if you make complaints. Thank you.
Item 10, first reading on the policy of the capitalization and depreciation. Caleb?
This is, came from a recommendation from our auditors. She mentioned at the last meeting when she was here. It's just a rule change from the government that rather than being required to depreciate capitalization items that are 5,000 above, they changed it to 10,000 above, which is a good thing for us, and we're recommending approval.
This would be just the first reading, and we'll have the second reading at the next board meeting, so if there's any questions about that policy, let Cale know, and he can answer those, so.
So we just do it.
Item 11, discussion action regarding open enrollment regarding of regular and special ed maximums. Yep.
Yeah, we have to do this every January, officially determine how many open enroll spots we have available. For regular ed, we're recommending that it's unlimited, which it always has been. We have room in our classes at this point for many as want to come. For special ed, it's a completely different story. There's a rubric that you put into the DPI provides. How many teachers do you have? How many kids do you have? What are the needs of those kids? There's a metric. And we have one space available in first, one in second, one in seventh, and one in 12th, based on that DPI rubric, that we would accept special ed open enrollments only up to that number. All the other grades are full.
Can we reject if they're on the level of special needs? You don't know?
No, not in that grade. Once we establish that we have room for one more,
So even if it's a one-on-one,
yeah,
we have to take it?
right. But there is a system for, charging back that school where they came from.
Oh, all right. Well, I was just curious.
So what determines, is just their IEP determines
Yep.
their placement in the special ed?
Yeah, there are some kids that are in the special ed program that maybe just need speech 15 minutes a week, and then there are some that need much
And
more
that IEP
intensive.
comes with, it's already generated by the previous school,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the IEP would come with it.
Okay, so it comes with.
Right, otherwise they wouldn't be labeled special ed.
Got it.
Do we need a motion on that?
Yep, just need a motion to
Motion
approve
approved.
those open enrollment special ed maximums. Motion by
approved.
Stafford,
Second.
second by Gratz to approve the open enrollment regular and special ed maximums for the 26-27 school year. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 12, discussion and action regarding staff listening sessions for February. Just for Jason and Valerie, just kind of a idea of what we've done. We've gone back several years with these groups. We used to do focus groups on a Friday afternoon. I can't remember when we started those. Aaron may remember when we started those. But
3 years ago.
yeah, it's been several years ago. Then we had a survey, and then they kind of fell apart, and then we kind of tried to do another focus groups, and they kind of went their course, and they kind of moved on, and then we've done listening sessions for the last couple of years where half hour before a school board meeting, staff could come in and talk about anything they wanted. I was talking to, or got a suggestion from somebody this afternoon, and after talking to the Gale, I'm gonna see what you guys think of this idea. Instead of the board having a listening session, the listening session was administration and staff. And I could sit in on those listening sessions. And after talking this through, ideas probably maybe for a couple different reasons. One of the things I've struggled with over the last several years is getting participation from all staff members. And that doesn't seem to happen a lot. The only time we got it when we had the forced focus groups. And that didn't really, but then that we couldn't collaborate with board members because it was during the spring and all that. But this would provide more of an opportunity of collaboration between administration and the staff. Also, one of the things I think has happened over the last several years, nobody's fault, it just is what it is. And I don't think Darlington's not alone, but staff have sometimes bypassed administration and gone right directly to board members to discuss issues. There is sort of a chain of command, and I don't think anybody in this room this doesn't mean that we don't want to listen to staff members, because we want to listen to staff members. But there is sort of that chain of command, and all of a sudden staff members come to talk to board members, bypass administration, and all of a sudden administration doesn't know anything about what's going on. So that kind of puts more back of that relationship back into place, and that, so that kind of that chain, and just trying something different, trying to evolve this. And then the other thing is that with the listening sessions over the last couple of years is they come to us, we sit here and we sit here and talk about these things, and we're all sitting here wondering, well, can you do that or can you do that? And then we've sort of got to backtrack with Kale and Mike and Mitch, and can we do that or not do that? Where staff goes right straight to administration with some collaboration, they come up with some ideas, and then they can work out some details and then bring it back to the board. So, just tossing some things out, looking
I
to
like this idea,
evolve.
Bob.
What's that?
I like the idea that you're putting forward there. I do like having the administration sit down. And if you want to sit with them, that's great, or if someone else wants to sit on it, that's perfectly fine. But I do think the administration should be having the meetings with the staff, and then they can take those ideas and bring them to us.
Yeah, I think, just to echo what he said, I'm not opposed to that idea. It would, number one, reinforce the message that we're always trying to get out there, that the best path to take is to start with your building principal if you have an issue that you'd like to bring up. And then the second thing, which you mentioned too, it definitely would increase the efficiency of the process. Instead of the board hearing the concerns and then asking us, and then we say the answer, board goes back and gives the answer. I mean, this would just speed up the process that way. As far as transparency or the teachers being satisfied with the process, I could easily see a situation where the following board meeting or some point in the future, there's an agenda item called a summary of the listening session, where we come to you and say, here's what we heard and here's, how it went. But that would only be done after there's been a whole flushing out of the conversations, and you'd be just getting a final product instead of.
I don't agree with any of that. We were elected to listen, and I think we're just shirking our responsibility. I think that there's nothing wrong with you having your sessions, but I think we should be having the sessions as well, and that they should have the right to come to us if they want. That's my opinion.
Anybody got any other thoughts?
Yeah, I guess I'm on board with the original one, because that, to me, it still goes back to as the chain of command, and, if there is something there that you guys feel that needs to come to us, that you'll bring it to us. We're not here to manage the day-to-day part of the school, and that seems to be what a lot of them sessions talk about, is what's going on in the building. And I guess I don't feel like we're elected to run the school, you know what I mean, the day-to-day stuff, so.
Well, they have all day, every day to go with that stuff. It's our responsibility, though, to be available to listen, I think.
Right, and I would say everybody is there. I mean, we're all in the public, we talk to staff, but I agree with, there has been times in the past where we get calls, and then we call administration, and they don't even have a clue what's going on when we call them. I think it gets back to that, is they gotta help try to solve the problem first, and if the principal don't, then it goes to Kale. Kale doesn't call it, then they know they can call us, and we're the last resort. But I don't think every situation in the building needs to be handled by the board when we hired administration to handle that side of things.
Yeah, my standard response to that is oftentimes when I get called about stuff like that is, my first response out of my mouth is, have you talked to either building principal? That's where it needs to start.
I think that's a really good response. But that doesn't negate our responsibility to have these listenings. That's like, what if our senators and our Congress folks all just said, nope, we're not listening anymore? I think we're talking about two different things. It's not micromanagement to listen to the concerns of the people that elect us.
Would it be constructive, like Gail said, to have those sessions with them and then do the follow-up? If anybody has concerns, then that's their time to bring them to us. I mean, is
I would
is
still
it-
say, we have board meetings often, and anybody can come and talk to us at any time if there is a concern.
But they're not open discussions. Because what do? We tell them, oh, you guys, you can say what you want, but we're not responding to you. You know, this provides a forum for us to, in a constructive and organized fashion, to allow for dialogue, back and forth discussion.
The key word there, constructive, because sometimes they're not constructive. I mean,
And I think one of the issues is, Jason, and I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong. But but like I said, one of the concerns I have, there's always seemed to be maybe the same people who come to the listening sessions here. And the people we're not hearing from is maybe the people we need to hear from. Maybe the collaboration with administration gets that more collaboration, and then, like Gail said, they can bring a summary back to us. I think, I'm always trying to evolve in this, and I'm open to try this for a year and see how this works. Again, this is
I
not
do agree with
saying,
you, Bob, in that sense. It seems like when we've had those in the past, it's been the 5 or 6 that come, or whatever. I'm just throwing that number around, I don't remember it as, but it seems to be the same token, the same people that are coming. And you're not maybe tapping into some of the people that have issues that are maybe afraid to speak up, or they're afraid to, they're just not doing it. And I don't know how you get them to come out and encourage some dialogue, but it never seems to happen. It seems it's the same 6 to 10 staff or teachers, whoever they come.
because the listening session is strictly volunteer,
Right.
where this would be on a Friday afternoon, where I think it's more kind of mandatory for staff.
And we try and we get them like groups and we split them apart where you have one support staff, one, try to have a member from each group and.
When they have access every single day to the administrative team, how is adding one meeting?
They're working during that time though too. I mean, I get what you're saying about being available, but when you're the teacher and you're in charge of those kids for those 8 hours per day, and then you get done, that, you really didn't have that time to go up to Mike, Kale, or Mitch to go do so. When you have an hour, hey, we're gonna sit down and do this for an hour, and
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, so do it. But why are we now taking the board out of it? That's what I don't understand.
Have you asked
why are we taking us out of
teaching
it?
staff which they would prefer?
Let's have
Have
that.
you asked the teaching staff which they would prefer?
We
It
ask the
kind of-
teaching staff.
Yeah, like it kind of feels like we're trying to make a decision without them decide. Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess, I would never come to an open forum to the board in Monroe. I'd be terrified to come to an open forum, but some people might want that. So I guess I'm curious whether you've talked to people who would be impacted.
But anybody from the Stafford community has the right to get on the agenda if there is a situation and come speak to us at any board meeting. I guess that would be, if somebody wants to be heard, every other week there's a way to be heard. And every time a staff members came in to present something, we've sat and listened. So it's not like we're saying, we won't talk to you. It's just at a different time. It's in a board meeting. There's nothing wrong with that.
I'm just looking for a way to evolve the process to get more staff, more collaboration between everybody. And this is an opportunity to, when it was brought up to me, I think it's an opportunity to try. If it doesn't work, we can try something different next year, but
We're gonna have the administration do it instead.
Give it a try.
Board members do it.
start, so.
That's what we call it. Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know if you kind of listened in on Matt, do you have any thoughts, or?
I
was doing a good job being quiet, wasn't I?
Well, I think we should,
Ultimately,
my
I
opinion, we should try it 1 year. See,
I will say this, I've been a part of a bunch of them, not all of them, because usually it's in the spring, right?
Yeah.
Right? Oh, it's February, or was there a spring one too?
So
usually?
March,
Yeah.
there was like a
Yeah.
March one, 2 years ago, I think it was.
I will say this, I enjoy talking to the teachers, I got to meet some I didn't know. I will say, I do believe, by having them, it creates opportunities for us to micromanage our leaders here, and it creates expectations of large groups to say, see, I told you we had this problem, see, I told you this. And honestly, I think it's created more issues in our whole district altogether. That's just my opinion. I think it actually creates more issues because literally I count more than these two hands. See, we told you, and that's fine, I get it. But ultimately, sometimes you gotta figure in finance and all these other things are pieces of the puzzle. And they would tell us, but there's all these other working pieces that gotta fall into place sometimes. I just believe it creates micromanaging, and it may even create a situation where we're able to micromanage and it picks up some faults of administration, and ultimately it leaves us in a worse place in the long run. If you allow people to fail, then you can move on with a different person in administration or wherever. That's just my feeling. I don't think a lot of positive things come out of it. I get reached out to all the time by staff, all different makes and models. I believe they're able to get to me as a board member without having a meeting and setting this, well, we told you so moment. That's my opinion. So I will be voting no for them, and I would ask to do it the way you're proposing for this go around.
So there's really no action, this is just discuss here, and I think the general consensus is let's try it through administration this
Yeah,
year and
not
let's give it a
opposed to
try.
it, if that's the way that it's going, but I would ask maybe, could we talk about it, come up with a plan and bring it to you at the next board meeting, like here's, after we think it through a little bit, the scheduling and the timing of things.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, item 13, discussion action regarding the purchase of the folding chairs for the FEMA gym and DEMS large room. This will be tabled tonight because they don't have the final prices on the chairs and stuff, so. Item 14, discussion action, the Bright Arrow messaging system. You know, Kale or Aaron, you want to take this, or?
Yeah, I'll turn this one over to Aaron, he's got an update for us.
Yeah, so Bright Arrow is the messaging part of the app that we purchased. So CMS for schools, they do our website, they also do our mobile app, and we purchased the messaging module with it this year, and that's called Bright Arrow. As you know, we've had some issues with messages going to unintended recipients. We've worked through those, and they've applied fixes that fix most of the issue, but we've gotten to the point where the system they've designed doesn't really fit for how we want to use it. It makes those things, makes it impossible to eliminate those issues. Like, they're eliminated on a large scale, like that first one we had, that can happen, but on a small scale, it still can, unless the user is doing like these things in order perfectly and doing that every time. So there's just too much potential for user error to cause things like that. So we're to the point where we'd like to explore moving away from that.
what happened with, because they charged us like $5,000 up front or whatever it was. And then we came back and they were gonna give us a little refund and.
Yeah, so they've given us a credit of $2,550, which actually covers all of the costs for that module for this year. I would expect them to do something additional. I've got a meeting scheduled with them on Friday to talk about that. They've been fairly reasonable.
What's our next step then? What do you recommend us doing?
So, we've talked at admin meeting, we like the app part of it, so we want to keep the Redbird app. That's been valuable, I think, for staff and for families.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we would just discontinue the messaging part of it. So we do lose text messaging ability by doing that. We are proposing going to Infinite Campus Messenger, which would give us back the text messaging feature. We do lose some of the other things. There were a couple of good things about Bright Arrow. It did translation really nicely, like automatic, so it was easier for people to do automatic translation. And it had a chat feature that we were gonna eventually use, for like sports and clubs and stuff. So we do lose those things. If we go to Infinite Campus, it doesn't have those features, but we do get the text messaging back. And the good thing about it being Infinite Campus is we already have Infinite Campus. The implementation won't be too bad, or it won't be a long time. At least they said sometime in February they could have it running. And we've used the messenger tool in Infinite Campus before, so we would just have to train on the additional steps for using text messaging.
What's the cost of that?
It's actually a little less. So like the Bright Arrow messaging module is $2,500. The Infinite Campus is like $2,280 a year, and there is an implementation fee for this year, but the prorated cost to implement it and then run it the rest of the year is like $2,300.
Are we under any sort of contract with Bright Arrow or just year to year?
We have a 1-year contract, but there's no way they're gonna say you can't switch. I mean, CMS for Schools runs our website, they run the app, they wanna keep us as a customer, they're not gonna,
So we're gonna keep them as the app portion of it.
yeah.
Okay.
And when you say it was prorated to the 2,300, what would next year look like?
About the same. So it's prorated, it costs more because there's an implementation fee in there too.
Okay.
I think it's a $1,500 implementation fee.
What I've got here for an annual cost going forward is like $2,100 a year.
Oh, yeah.
All right, move forward.
So I would need a motion to eliminate the messages system through Bright Arrow and then purchase the messages system through Infinite Campus.
So moved.
Sorry.
Motion by Staffer, second by Zuber to approve the elimination of messages system through Bright Arrow and the purchase of messages system through Infinite Campus. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Item 15, initial resolution authorizing the general obligation bonds in the amount of not to exceed $6 million. Kayla, you got anything more on that? And then also on 11, both these, or 16, both these can be taken together. The resolution providing for a referendum election on the question of the approval of the initial resolution authorizing the issue of general obligation bonds in the amount not to exceed $6 million. So, I would need a motion to approve both those resolutions and a second, and then it would be a roll call vote because we need that. Where's that?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
Motion by Zuber, second by Chris to approve both resolutions as presented. Roll call whenever you're ready, Stacy.
Bryson?
Or no, if you want.
Okay, but yes or no?
Yes or no?
Well, I guess you can just go around.
Yeah.
King?
Yes.
Pink?
Yes.
Staffer?
Yes.
Silvermuller?
Yes.
Hermanson?
Yes.
And Gratz, yes. Okay.
Okay, those motions approved to approve the resolutions. Okay, then we're on to item 17, discussion regarding referendum informational campaign. I provided an email out. Mitch has got a kind of a GP chat thing here to show you. you know, we have to do a better job of getting information out about the debt referendum than what we did with, exceeding the revenue limit. One thing I did hear after that election is there was a lot of people who did not know what was going on. They got in the voting booth, saw that, voted no, come out, learn more about it. Well, if I knew about it, I would have voted for it. I had some couples tell me that one spouse knew about it and the other one didn't. So we gotta do a better job of getting the information out and stuff like that, so.
Yeah, that's what this agenda item is about, is just to brainstorm possible ways to do that, how we think best to accomplish that mission. There's flyers that I've seen people hand out at sporting events. Of course, Facebook, you know, is gonna reach to most people. I do go around to the town meetings and Lions Club and anybody that'll have me and do a 6 or 8 minute thing there too. I know we had an idea to create a 3D kind of walkthrough virtual version, take the floor plan, and the way AI is these days, you could create a virtual space that you could walk through and see what's going on. You could have kids welding in it and things, really get a good feel for what we're talking about putting up. Mitch has been working on something with AI. He put some stuff in and it created I thought it was very good presentation that could go on Facebook. He inspired me, so I was gonna go on and do something similar with the 3D thing, and I Googled, you know, 3D virtual, put the floor plan in and said, just make it a, you know, and it didn't work well at all. Nothing useful came from it. I think we may have to spend some money, which not necessarily a bad thing if we want a really good 3D, you know, virtual walkthrough. That may require an outside company, may not have to look at it, but I don't know if you guys have a lot of interest in seeing the first draft of what Mitch came up with, or we could just brainstorm tonight, and then at the next meeting, we could bring you everything that we've come up with at once, but.
One of the things I think we need to do, at least in the next couple of weeks, obviously you don't want to go in the full referendum mode at the beginning of January. But as people in the public hear that we're going to referendum, we need to get out and tell our story of why we're going to referendum. That somebody else set the story for us. So I would like Cale to get out and either through, you know, our video, maybe get to the paper, maybe get to the radio, just to go out and say, here's the reason. What I call the three W's, the what, the why, and the when. And we kind of discuss those. And then as the next few months come along, we can kind of wrap up our thing. But we need to get out there and tell everybody why we're going to referendum.
You were talking about an outside source for help. Have you asked Aaron at all?
Yeah, that's my question. What's Aaron doing as far as the AI stuff? Is that something he can do?
I don't think so. He did help me with the thing today to get the floor plan put into the, and it, we can't blame him at all for it not working. He just helped me put the floor plan in, but I think it's gonna take a little bit more than the software that we even have access to here at the school. Even Market & Johnson is a big company. You remember Tricor built our thing here. Market & Johnson, a competitor of theirs, they reached out and they said they'd be willing to help with pamphlets and videos and things like that. So I got a hold of that guy and said, hey, could you do a 3D kind of walkthrough thing? And he said that's beyond, you know, the software that they have access to. So.
Did you have a chance to talk to Travis this afternoon?
Yes, Travis from Morton that's doing our shed, he was here. He had a 3D version of our shed at one point, you know, so I called him.
It's not gonna be what you want.
No.
Right.
So ultimately, guys, I called Cale about this. I've seen enough videos and sales meetings and all those type of things. They show a process of the building being built, and then once it's built, the moving people and the pieces in there, like they're in the classroom and moving, building a shed, large door opens, that little shed gets moved, garden shed gets moved up, a welding project, all of these things like a electrical couple students standing next to a teacher. We need something like that when your what's or whatever's. We're building one of the nicest tech ed facilities, school, at least in southern Wisconsin's got. And the why, I mean, we're doing it for our students. I mean, if you would watch Mike Rowe or continue to see people post on social media, we need more tech stuff. Why don't we teach more tech stuff? We've got that opportunity to put this all in one little video, and whether he narrates it or not, or however you implement him, that's what we need, because no offense, nobody's gonna read what you put together last time. Not that it wasn't awesome, it's just, we weren't getting the likes and the follows, you follow what I'm saying? And the information out. You might wanna check with the library, your wife's got over 5 million likes on the last post they did. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So there's some special people out there that could put together something pretty sweet, even if it's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. I don't know those numbers, what they get for that kind of stuff. But I do know if we're obviously serious about going to referendum, so we want it to pass the first time. I know there's all kinds of costs if we don't get it passed. We gotta come back again and redo everything. So if we put together a nice presentation that makes sense, talks about 40% of what we spend is gonna be paid by the state government, you know what I mean? Those are all the things you gotta put in like a 60-second piece, or a minute and a half. People will watch that.
And put it up front.
So that's kind of, this is what I call Kale's Open. We need something like that. So I don't know if that's what you're kicking, and I don't know if we're capable of doing that in this building, but I wouldn't take any chances on doing it wrong or bad.
Oh, no.
You only get one chance to get the word out
I think
correctly the first time.
there's gotta be somebody or somebody that, with AI the way it is right now, I mean, the stuff that they're doing right now is insane. So there's gotta be, that we can get a video, like a 3D rendition or an AI video mock-up with our floor plans and do as you said.
Could we reach out to Southwest Tech for some of the technology they may have?
I mean, and
I believe Jeff Rickers did something. Did he give you a number?
Yeah, Jeff Ricker said.
Their business did something with some company, I know, I don't know if they're the person to contact or not, but he said they'd done, was it training or ad?
It was an ad,
It was an ad or something.
really well done, 5,500, commercial.
Well, I think that's the direction we need to go.
I
I think we can spin ideas all we want, but I think we need to have some of the others.
But that's just my idea, I want something so the husband says, hey, did you see that post? Tells his wife, you know what I mean? You know, the ones we've used in the past for their time might have been really cool, but to get the word out properly of what we're truly doing, the main thing is a tech ed facility, then we're adding some pieces that we need to take care of.
on our video board in the gym, is that something that, if we had this AI video, is that something that we could post for every home game?
Halftime.
I just asked,
Yeah.
yeah,
Halftime.
because it's a way to get when people are there, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling, basketball, like,
Correct.
you know, because is there more wrestling home meets? I know there,
One.
is it soon, probably?
But that's okay, I mean, I like that.
Yeah, because the
Let's try
wrestling
it
group's
out.
gonna be, you know,
Yeah.
you're gonna cover
I
some.
mean, that's why we have that video board, so I mean, there's
Right.
a chance to get however many people are in that gym. And then if we, since obviously YouTube doesn't film our video board, we have somebody that's actually filming the video board as it's broadcasting. That, you know, that we can, I don't know if that's even possible, I mean, I guess an error question would be when we do our live, you know, our live stream, are we still doing with their commentating every game, or is it just occasional?
Occasional, 2 a month.
But that would be good too on the,
Yeah.
on the YouTubes at halftime or
Yeah.
timeouts.
Yeah.
I mean, Points does similar, you know, last night they had different things.
I agree, but most people that are at the games are voting yes. We've got to get to the other 80%.
But it gets people talking,
I'm well aware.
right?
I'm well
Yeah.
aware,
I
but
saw
we just
the
gotta
video.
make it so people are clicking when they're sitting in front of their
Yeah.
couch.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
And
We've
is
already,
there a way with this app or Infinite Campus to send it direct that way to parents? Because obviously you want the parents of the students to vote.
Well, I think
there's
the
gotta
big
be,
part
there's gotta
about
be
it-
a way that you can send it as a link, just like our email, like, hey,
Right.
here's a link, please check this out.
The big thing is the creation, right? I mean, I get all the, hey, we can do this, this, and this. We need to create it.
And the problem is I know we don't.
Someone knows somebody, yeah,
How
I'm not saying.
many people are there? It's some of those that.
Our town board meeting, you're gonna get the officers and one grumpy man about a road tube.
Right, so you're not
And
reaching,
he's
so we
gonna
gotta,
know every
you
single
know,
time.
Yeah, just being honest.
I mean, you would have your budget meeting, there's what, 3 people, 4 people?
At the moment.
You're wasting more time.
I mean, we have a public forum, we get 4 people that show up.
So-
Start voting yes anyway.
I guess, reach out, everybody use their heads here, and message these guys if they know somebody can do one of these videos.
Monroe, she was just pointing out Monroe.
So Monroe did one for their new build, super good, like, look at their website, it was I mean, I'll reach out, I'll find out who did theirs, but.
It was pretty cool.
It's super cool.
It made you lock in and
It
wanna
did,
watch
like,
the
it's
whole
actually,
thing.
like, it's really fun, so I will.
Was it like AI?
So it was, they took their floor plan and made it real of the new building.
Perfect.
It's great.
That's what
That's what you
we're
want.
at, just what,
Like, it's really cool.
I wouldn't be afraid to check in with UW Platteville to see if there's a graphic design class or something that would do it for free. I did a lot of that when I was the police chief, because they need projects.
Sure.
And the video's all good, but I think we need to reach sometime, we need to reach beyond the video too. I think we need to get on, in the paper, maybe get on the.
put it in the RJ, right?
And talk about.
you know how many people read the RJ, anybody ever thought
No,
about that?
but at least you try.
600 something.
680-something copies total,
Yeah.
hard copies. And if you look lately, they ain't
They don't
selling
even
any
have
of
it
them.
online
No,
anymore.
They ain't selling any of
But
them. Yes,
I think getting on the radio might be better.
I get it, but let's get our message going, I agree.
Yeah, let's get it.
And I think Mike even brought up a good idea, some of the other schools have done is find somebody that could put together a yes committee. And always keep this in mind, as a school board members, we're not allowed to go out and campaign for a yes vote. We're only allowed to go out and provide the information.
Same.
So, but there are schools that put together a yes committee and we kind of turn that over to them, so that's an idea to think about and stuff like that.
If you do a video, I can create a QR code that links to it, and include that and direct mailings to homes too. That's what it seems like everybody doing now, QR codes.
I don't know, 3rd page.
So, like you said, let's put our heads together and we can come back next meeting and discuss
16
it.
above, still don't understand QR codes.
Could be, yep.
That's
just-
what
yeah,
the
you have
issue, that's
to-
certainly the issue with
Certain
these,
groups,
You just
16
have to go ahead and-
above.
I mean, every
paper's for, that's.
every single idea though you said here should be done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you're gonna reach different people.
It's not just one
Yeah,
one
solution.
demographic.
like you said, the games, that's a good idea. I mean, mailings, whatever, it's gonna have to be
A link for every student to get a link into the home. I mean, I get that every Sunday night at 8 o'clock, my lunch balance account. So,
Well, I think there's a couple different pieces, like Mitch, one of the things that you're gonna have to do is create talking points for staff when they're asked a clear message of the why, like the video is great, but talking person to person, people who come to the teachers, they need to know what they can and can't talk about. To sell it, like it's not an operating referendum, it can't be publicized as an operating referendum, you have to be clear about what you're doing.
The biggest question I always hear, and the misunderstanding is, I don't want my taxes to go up. And we've discussed that, that's not what's gonna happen. You have one loan going away, and you just wanna continue to borrow, and that was a lot of feedback I heard last time, was people are like, no, I don't want my taxes to go up. They didn't understand that one loan's going away, and we're just, it's like a car, right? I guess, in my personal household, we only have one car loan at a time. And that one goes away, Tammy gets the car. When that one's paid off, I get a truck, you know what I mean? I think people will understand it if we can.
Well, it's roughly the same payment that's been in place since 1996.
We're not asking to go up, we're just asking to continue to spend that same amount.
Because we're actually gonna lose money from the state if we don't do this.
yeah, and I think that's a message that needs to be hammered. Like, if we don't pass this,
That's good.
yeah, your taxes may go up because the mill rate's gonna go up.
So these are all good ideas, and, like I said, if you got any additional information or any additional thoughts, get them back to Kale, and then we'll put together a good plan, and we'll come back at next meeting. Okay, item 18, Superintendent Nichols, Activity Director, Building and Ground Reports, Cam.
I'm just gonna give you an update on our food service situation.
I took both.
Both at the same time, okay, okay. got it.
Quick recap. We were terminated from the USDA food service program by the DPI last year. We appealed, the judge in Madison overturned the decision, said we're back in. The plan is to start that on a week from Monday, January 19th. The board has approved Taher after RFP process, same company we had last year. At our annual meeting this year, at the beginning of the school, we talked about budgeting $180,000 as an estimate of what we might be in the hole this year, being on our own for the food service with no reimbursements. What this shows you is where we are from September through the end of December. 45,000 in the hole, so first semester just about over. Projections were roughly 90, and it's gonna be 45,000 through December. We still have 2 weeks of January left, so it's gonna be somewhere north of 45,000 by the time this is over. Pretty good news. I mean, it could have been worse.
So this 45,000, can we say, are we gonna be reimbursed for that?
Yeah,
Plus whatever interest or whatever it might be?
we are in discussions with the DPI. We were unlawfully terminated from the program. We suffered damages because of it. We have a meeting with a lot of people to talk about it. The first real meeting is January 14th coming up, and so we'll see where it goes from there. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we're in the process of working on that.
Okay.
Anything else, Cam?
Nope.
Anybody have any additional questions for Cale? If not, thank you, Cale. Mike?
Yeah, with the break in there and really just getting back to school, just talked to Mr. Austin, so we kind of forego the formal report that we typically get. I'll be talking about kindergarten assistant in a little bit, but hasn't been a whole lot going on with break, so.
Any questions for Mike? If not, thank you, Mike. Mitch?
I go the same as Mike there, just coming back from break, getting the break was good, and semester ends next week, so we're getting ready for exam.
Sorry, Jason Moore.
Any questions for Mitch? If not, thank you, Mitch. Ben?
Yeah, just a couple things. Personnel wise, fingers crossed, we're looking to be full strength, somewhere in the first week of February. So it'll be the first time since I've been here that we would be at full strength. So hoping that nothing changes there. There's still a couple of small things, but looks like we're on track. A couple things with buildings. Working with our chemical rep. The chemicals that we've been using to clean the wrestling rooms are sufficient and good. But looking for a way to be better or great. He's got a lead on a couple wrestling room specific type sanitizer and disinfectants. So he thought by the end of the week he would have that over to me. So just hoping we can improve that and go from, good to great or good to better. Next week we're gonna start changing out all the air filters in both buildings. We just did some research and some math. We made a supply order, so TP towels, can liners, stuff like that. We should be good through the end of the school year, now that we have space to store all that. Just pricing out some updated fixtures for the gym, just to kind of update things. The state plaques, the Wisconsin ones on the north end of the gym. Those are down. Doyle in the Woods class right now, or this afternoon, started tracing that out, and they're hoping to get those all cut. And then another staff member is gonna get the vinyl or the paint stencils made. So hoping to get both of those up here in the next week or so. So that's really it for buildings, grounds. Working on a little bit of a project here with our field striping. I reached out to a guy from Boscobel. They're running one of these machines. He didn't get back to me today, but essentially looking at some robotics that would do all the stenciling, line painting, hashes, batters, boxes, parking lots, and all that to where it would be essentially manless. It's a pretty cool machine. If you want to check it out, it's called the Turf Tank. I've got the pricing, but I haven't pulled invoices and stuff to look how much money we've spent on paint. Their big selling point is paint reduction, efficiency. So I want to run that ROI before I get too deep into it. But essentially, we could do more to the fields with less labor and less paint, is what it boils into. So this thing can do checkerboards, it can paint red birds across the end zones, it can paint your batters boxes, all your logos. It says it can paint 200 parking spots in 2 hours. So I mean, it's a pretty efficient machine. It's got a 3-year contract on it. But I do have info for 2 local schools that are running it. So I'm gonna try to do my due diligence and maybe see it, talk to them. Is it as good as advertised? Is it 25% reduction instead of the advertised 50%? Just want to work on that before I get too depth.
I mean, just man hours alone on a football field.
So this essentially, not the DHS logo, but all your hashes, your lines, the border, it's 5 gallons of paint. It'll do it in 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Do you got to be there, or is it?
You do not have to be there. It's ran off of an iPad. You set up a stand in like the first row of the bleachers. It's ran off RTK, which is what like John Deere and case sprayers use. So it's very accurate. They do all the setup. They map your field, put it in the app. It can paint the DHS too as well and all that. But essentially you set up the base station, it holds 5 gallons of paint, plug a battery in, hit go on the iPad, and then it'll text you when either the battery dies or it runs out of paint. You go back out to the field, shove another battery in, refill it, move on.
It's a machine that you purchase or you lease through that?
You can do it either or, but it's a 3-year lease. It's $9,000 a year is what it is. It comes with 2 free logos, so the DHS would be 1 logo. It could paint the D with the red bird poking through. It has the ability to paint those. The checkerboard is not a logo. The red birds in the end zone is not a logo. You can take the DHS, you can scale it down, you can paint it behind home plate, you can paint it at the starting and finish line on the cross-country track. Like, you can just do all these things, and it paints parking lots too. So,
Nice.
just early stages of it, but.
You mentioned filters, and I don't know if you know this.
Yep.
But pre-COVID, Lee wanted this filter system that we spent $130,000 on. Do you have any idea what that piece is? And are we still putting filters in it yearly? Was it worth it?
I'm
Or should we
assuming
just
this
stop
is the
using
2 big portable stations that are buried in the storeroom.
Somebody would, mean we're not using them?
If that's what it is, then.
Because we
that's the
spent
only-
$130,000 on them, they were supposed to save the world and us included. And I'm just curious, are we still using, find out if you would please, are we still using them? And if we are still using them, how much money we're pumping into these filters that are supposedly saving our lives? And what have you, do you remember which that was, Gail? It was like $130,000.
But
So I'm curious, you know, some of that stuff was gimmick. Maybe we shouldn't be, if we are still using it, shouldn't be using it.
I know there's 2 big wheeled machines that I couldn't figure out what they were. They got like a big fan on the top, but I think they're a filtration system, and they.
Just do some research. We may not be using them, you know, who knows? Or if we are, let's see if they're worth shoving filters in.
called an ion filter, or some kind of fancy scientific.
I think it was an electrostatic precipitator.
That's a big word.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say that's what it was, but my memory might not serve me correctly.
I'm curious if we're still even using that. You know
I don't
what I'm
know.
saying?
I'll let you know.
Any additional questions for Ben?
Find out if those solar panels on the roof actually really save us money, or if it's just a look, means you're looking when you get time.
I'll do it right after the stage.
Oh, wow.
The lease will be coming up on those pretty soon, and then we can decide whether or not we get rid of them or repurchase them. So, I'm not sure when that date is.
It's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Next couple years.
I can't tell you what the date is.
It was a 50.
Okay, thank you, Ben.
2 or 3 years.
Did Lindsay have anything, Mitch?
No.
Okay. Do we got an FML request to do, or?
We could talk about it.
I just didn't know, if we didn't, then there's no need to go into closed session, because we do not have a kindergarten assistant candidate, do we?
No. Update you.
We could talk about that FML, I think, at the next meeting, for sure.
Okay, then if we can talk about that at the next meeting, then there's no action that we need from closed session, so the last action on the thing is the adjournment. So,
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
motion by Zuber, second by Chris to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, same sign, we adjourn. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.